SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, Sirius 210, XM 87. Have our good friend Richard Fronefeld from theofficepool.com hanging out with us. He's Ryan Benini from KFFL.com. I'm Steve Kyler from Big League Sports. And as promised, we're going to take a bunch of phone calls in this segment. 888-XM Fantasy, 888-963-2682. Richard, before we jump back out to the phones, we were kind of talking about this in terms of mid-season awards. And you threw out Aaron Rodgers, and I think everybody would agree Aaron Rodgers best, probably your MVP, almost in a walk. But at the quarterback position, who comes in number 2, number 3 in your mind? Who's the second best quarterback in fantasy this year?
It's got to be Drew Brees, I think, especially, he didn't do anything to hurt himself the other night with 5 touchdowns. And then maybe Cam Newton after that. He's been incredible.
Okay, I don't know that I would argue with Cam Newton. I would obviously throw Tom Brady in there, but
yeah.
I could give Cam some love. Cam's getting
I'm a Jet fan. It's hard for me to say Tom Brady.
Gotta have that hate. Hate in your heart's always a bad thing, I'm just saying. He is Richard Fronefeld from theofficepool.com. Let's head out to Eric in Nebraska. Eric, it's Big League Sports. How can we help you, my friend?
Question. I got a McFadden owner. Trying to figure out who to pick up Michael Bush. I had him last week and dropped him to pick up Fred Davis, but I don't know if I want to drop him now. I got Davis is one I was thinking about, and Starks.
Well, who are your other tight ends?
My other tight end is Gronkowski.
Okay, how many are you starting? Are you planning to start Davis?
One tight end. I've been starting Gronkowski all year.
Yeah, here's where I'm at. I think Starks is the guy to drop because pretty much he's basically the same as Michael Bush. It's not like you're going to get radically better production out of Starks than you are out of Bush, and you're kind of in a situation now with DMC where you've got to play the waiting game. And when you look at the job Michael Bush did last week, even with so limited touches because of how bad things were for the Oakland Raiders, he still put up respectable numbers. So I'd be okay dropping Starks for Bush. I'm not sure that I would carry the extra tight end, but in my mind, you're basically trading equal things in dropping Starks for Bush. I think you're getting exactly what you have. So for me, that's how I would play it. Richard, how about you?
Can you play a tight end as your flex in your league?
No, it can't.
Okay. Then I agree with Steve. I'd make the swap Starks for Bush.
Yeah, we'll make it a true 3 for 3 on this one. Fred Davis, I don't think is cuttable right now, especially with Cooley being out for the year on injured reserve. He's just playing too well, and he's really the only prime option in the passing game with Santana Moss out for the next 5 to 7 weeks. Gronkowski is going to be your starting tight end 9 times out of 10, but I think having that luxury of having Fred Davis, even as trade bait, makes it one better off than having Starks, and then tag teaming Bush to McFadden. Obviously a smart move because this won't be the last time we talk about a McFadden injury this season.
Eric, thanks for the call, my friend. Let's go out to Dave in Buffalo. Dave, what's going on? It's Big League Sports. How can we help you?
Hey, how you doing? I've got a couple different leagues. Matter of fact, playing the first place team in both leagues. Non-PPR 12-teamer. Picking up Steve Preston to give us a Monday Night Football play, and we've just been absolutely decimated at receiver. We lost Julio Jones. We made a trade for Santana Moss, just lost him. And luckily, we picked up Murray and got our first victory last week because our running backs have been decimated all year. Wanted to get your thoughts on the Preston pickup, and in my other league, I'm in second place playing the first place team, and I'm thinking about picking up Keelan Williams, and we're also picking up Smith because of the Hightower injury.
Okay, let me jump into the Steve Preston. I'm a big fan of Steve Preston, and I like what I saw out of Kansas City. There was some fight in them last week, but they're a bad football team. They're a bad football team, and when you've got a quarterback that is clearly out of sync, like Matt Castle's been, I just don't know that you can really count on Preston. But Julio Jones, he was on the practice field with the team Sunday morning. It looked like maybe they could go active with him. They opted not to, so you're going to get him back after the bye week. They're on bye, so in 2 weeks you get Julio Jones back. I think Steve Preston can be a Band-Aid for you, and certainly losing Santana Moss as well. I'm okay with the Preston. On the Keelan Williams thing, I'm not sure I'm there. Richard, where are you at on Keelan Williams?
Well, I like Keelan Williams over Maurice Morris. Maurice Morris is, I think, 32 now. and slowing down. They split the carries last week, and I think Williams is going to get more until Best comes back. So, it's not a terrible pickup.
Dave, thanks for the call. Let's go to Ray in Oregon. Ray, it's Big Lead Sports. How can we help you?
Yeah, hey, I got a couple of questions for you. I got one trade question and a waiver wire. The trade, I have Stephen Ridley. I know you talked a little bit about him. I have Ridley and the Saints, and I've been offered the guy from Cleveland that's hurt. Peyton Hillis, sorry. Peyton Hillis and the Buccaneers.
Okay, so you have Ridley and the Saints D, and you're being offered Hillis and the Bucs D.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not making that deal. And look, I cover the Bucs. I'm in Tampa. That's my team. I've got the Bucs D on one of my teams as well. They're not a good defense. They're a middle-of-the-road defense. And Peyton Hillis, who knows what's going to happen with Peyton Hillis? I mean, he has become a huge question mark. He has not been productive this year. It seems like from everything that's coming out of there that they're going to go Montario, Hardesty. Look, I don't think Stephen Ridley's even better. To me, it seems like you're trading. I would say the Saints D's marginally better than the Bucs D from a points production point of view, but I think you're trading garbage for garbage. I don't know that either side of that deal makes you a winning team in my mind. Richard, how about you?
Yeah, I'd even go a step further. I'm not a huge Ridley fan, but I think at this point he's got more upside, at least for this year, than Hillis does. So I think you'd be trading down at both positions.
In that situation, Cleveland just seems to have soured on Hillis. He's had some injury problems. He's not happy with his contract. I think he's basically started some of these issues. As Steve said, the Bucs defenses, they are what they are, and that's a team that you really should not even have on your roster at this point. I'd be playing the weekly waiver wire game with the defenses if I had them. As far as the Saints,
one thing on the Bucs though here, Ryan, is that they are ball hawks. It is a ball hawk defense. They're trying to get the pick six. And when you've got guys like Aqib Talib and Tanar Jackson's been phenomenal, and even Rondé gets in there, they're going to mix it up. And if you're sloppy with the football, they are looking for the interception. Some teams are looking to break up the play. The Buccaneers are actively looking for the interception. So,
but the problem with
3 weeks, you're going to get points out of them defensively.
But that's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. There is no consistency with it. If you have to rely on a pick six to be your fantasy defensive point maker,
yep.
You're up the creek without the paddle
that's
immediately,
right?
And that's what you're going to have. Sean Payton, head coach of the Saints, talked to them in the last week before the Indianapolis game. And I know it's tough to use Indianapolis as a barometer for anything just because they're so bad. And we just saw the Saints drop, 215 points on them or whatever it was the other night? Anyway.
2000, I'm saying.
But in that situation, Payton has basically told these guys, this team is better man-to-man than the Super Bowl winning Saints a few years ago. And he said they need to stop talking about potential. They need to stop just looking at the team as we can rest on our laurels. They really actually have to go out there and prove it. That looked like a different, hungrier team. I think the loss to Tampa Bay was a real good loss for New Orleans, and we saw them come out and take out that frustration and that pain on Indianapolis, and they've got a real nice schedule coming up, especially in the next week. So I think what you should have to do is just rely on that Saints defense. Don't forget, if Breeze and company get up by 20 points, that defense goes in attack mode where they're picking off balls, and you want to talk about pick six. No team does it better than the Saints defense when they've got a lead they can play on and just destroy the opposing quarterback by watching the eyeballs.
Let's go to Big Dog in North Carolina. Big Dog, what's going on, my man? It's Big Lead Sports. How can we help you?
Thanks for taking my call. I'm in a 12-team non-PPR league, quarterback heavy. They get 6 points per touchdown, and I'm got quarterback is Stafford. He scares me occasionally, but I love him. He's been great for me. Backing him up with Tebow I picked up. But I've got a trade offer I'll be giving up Stafford, LaShawn McCoy, and Vince Jackson, and I'll be getting back Rodgers, Decker, and Stark. But again, I have real good depth everywhere else.
Now, let me tell you my initial thoughts on this is no. You've got Shady McCoy and Vincent Jackson and a serviceable quarterback that's putting up solid numbers in Matthew Stafford. Yeah, a little banged up. You got Tebow to kind of get you through that. I don't know that I am downgrading. You're going to upgrade a quarterback, but you're going to downgrade everywhere else. I don't know that I'm making that deal. Richard, how about you?
Yeah, I'm with you. McCoy's been a stud. Vincent Jackson this last week against the Jets notwithstanding is also a stud. We already talked about Starks, and Decker now with the quarterback he has thrown to him, I don't think he's going to do much. So I know it's a quarterback-heavy league that you're in, but Stafford's, top 5, 6 quarterback right now. So I would stick with what you got.
Big Dog, you're going from Tier 2 quarterback to Tier 1 quarterback. Difference isn't that big. Tebow, if last week was any indication, great second half, horrible first, and I'm sorry, great last 2 minutes, horrible first half, and plus. But this is a guy that's capable of posting 20-plus fantasy points any given week. He's a poor man's Michael Vick from a year ago. You're going from a running back 1 to a running back 4, a wide receiver 2 to a wide receiver 3, 4, depending on the matchup. And with you being in a non-PPR league, I think that hurts Decker. We saw that Tebow likes Demaryius Thomas already. They have history from a year ago as well. Decker, I don't think, is going to be scoring a lot of touchdowns the rest of the way. I'm not really even considering that trade when I break it down the numbers.
Big Doug, thanks for the call. We are going to take a very quick break. We're going to let Richard Fronefeld from theofficepool.com get out of here. Richard, good stuff as always, my friend. We will catch up with you as the season gets going. And, of course, encourage everybody to swing by theofficepool.com. Richard, be good, my man.
Thanks a lot, guys.
There you go. Richard Fronefeld. He is from theofficepool.com. You certainly want to swing by a great office pool pick'em type game website. Now, Ryan, I want your thoughts on this one. And I always worry about